Last time on Dragon Ball Kakumei. After the king gave a passionate speech to the Saiyan army to announce their participation in the Universal War, Jocko and the others would finally arrive to the planet 2 days later. Launching a device to find Vegeta, the poor robot wouldn't stay in commission much long after doing so. Once all in the same place, the prince would predictably anger Caulifla, causing her to stomp off. And with Cabba not wanting to stick around to endure the fallout, that left us with only Kale to show our heroes around planet Sadala. Leading to a unique interaction, seeming to be love at first sight. How will this particular situation play out? This video is part of an ongoing series. Catch it full easy in the links below, and follow reenko, poissonlabo, and darkows. Sheila takes exception to the situation, shouting to Broly that she's still here. When he makes the first move, he introduces himself and questions what her name is. But Sheila screams to know why he's even bothering to ask. With no other words, Kale merely comments her own name in response. As Sheila cries out, "How long are you going to keep ignoring me?" Kale takes in a deep breath, trying to overcome her anxiety. She tries to get pumped up by telling herself she can do this. Her eyes shift to a much more welcoming expression. She turns to Bulma to accept the request of escorting them around the planet. After all, it's not like there's anything better to do. Getting her way yet again, Bulma leaps with excitement and thanks their new tour guide. They can head downtown now if she wants. And since they've all finished eating, they begin to head that direction. Though already getting a rundown of the area, Vegeta complains that he doesn't like rides and this is such a pain. His wife promises this will be fun, just trust her. While Jocko snips, they just go already. Like Kale said, it's not like they have anything better to do. As Broly notices Sheila lagging behind. In a huff, she crosses her arms and pouts to Limo that she doesn't think they're invited. He asks her what's wrong. And naturally, she simply mutters, "Nothing." With a prod, a confused Broly inquires she's coming too, right? Who reluctantly and eventually agrees to. The gang walks for only about half a minute before Kale announces they've reached their destination. Now we see what Vegeta was referring to with the rides. It appears a Ferris wheel and roller coaster span across half the city itself. Our heroes have contrasting opinions on the Saiyan capital. While Broly thinks it's beautiful, Jocko was honestly expecting much more. Sheila spitefully agreeing with the latter. Though given the last couple minutes, she would probably still have this opinion even if she were looking at Florence or Paris. Kale admits it is a pretty small city. And because of course, the behemoth asks that now that they've seen the city, what's next? Timidly, Kale thinks they can actually, go into the city. Causing Sheila to puff. What's there to even do down there? Are there shops or anything? All the while thinking she hopes this Kale girl won't be their tour guide this entire time they're here. Kale politely responds, "Of course," before soliciting she's Sheila, right? And in all her confident glory, the green humanoid thrusts her hands under her hips to proclaim, "The one and only," her overt personality causing Limo to shake his head. The gang moves close enough to eventually start seeing people. Broly states they all seem really busy down there. And as we see, it's mostly people just casually shopping or kids playing similar to how they do on Earth. So this kind of hints to Kale that one of her visitors is a bit different than the others. She questions where he comes from, or rather, how do things go on his home planet? He admits he's actually never done anything other than hunting before. There's neither people or much to do where he comes from. But there is Sheila and he loves her, picking her up and placing her on his shoulders. She doesn't much like being abruptly hoisted into the air. Kale tells him that's a good thing then, as we're able to pan over the area below. Vegeta scoffs he still doesn't know what they're doing here. Bulma almost agrees with him. To be fair, it's really similar to Earth. Regardless, the gang heads in. To see up close the Sadala equivalent to deep-fried fair food. The simple games the kids play here, just like the ones on Earth and likely other planets. Broly crouches down to ask what they're doing. One of the children explained they're playing a game where the first person to close their eyes loses. A game Sheila and Kale are playing as well. Seeing the Ferris wheel, Broly wonders what the point of that thing is. They can fly. In flattering a passerby, he compliments the woman on her fancy hat. That's when they find themselves in a park-like area. A trio of shady individuals call out to him. The thug protests to the muscle man that can't he see he's in their territory? With his leather jacket, it's possible these guys are from Caulifla's area, at least from what we know in the anime iteration. The other complains not only do these other Saiyans get all the fame, but now they're stealing their females as well. Something Bulma takes exception to. Do they think this is how you treat females? Telling the goons to get lost. Yes, sorry ma'am! Chilai approves of the scientist's actions, shooting her thumbs up. Who shudders little brats like them really get on her nerves. It seems like some things don't change no matter what universe you're in. But there is something they were right about. Maybe Broly shouldn't go walking around shirtless. It's inappropriate. Another thing Chilai spots she couldn't have said better herself. Bulma reaches into her jacket where she appears to be holstering several capsules and devices. She explains there must be something here for him to wear. Finding the perfect solution, she reveals something she describes as her new capsule technology. Though first, they're gonna have to get rid of this smelly thing, grabbing at Ba's ear. But just as he's done before, Broly indiscriminately reaches out to stop her. Bulma, now very concerned, lets Broly know he's hurting her. That's when Kale interjects. He can keep it, it's not a big deal. If the smell bothers her that much, she knows a good perfume maker near here. With the situation settling, Bulma states she wasn't aware how much that thing meant to him, apologizing to the Saiyan. Anyway, she instructs him to place the capsule on his chest. He also tells her not to worry about it, placing the device around his heart area. He asks, like this? Causing the capsule to open, giving Broly a black t-shirt bearing the Capsule Corp logo. Though he complains it feels really tight. Bulma rolls her eyes for him not to be such a wimp. It's perfect. Blushing and trying to move past all this Kale business, Chilai mutters she thinks it fits him well. Surprisingly flattering him. With Whis and the boys, on Planet Crepe, it seems the Angel's replaying some of Gotenks' highlights, likely trying to access a way to make him as powerful as possible for the war. The kids cheer out watching their former self in all his overconfident glory. Trunks shouts they were so cool! Turning off the video, Whis believes that's all he needed. Getting into formation, the boys begin the start of the fusion dance thinking they're finally getting to the training part. But with a lighthearted chuckle, their mentor strictly forbids them from fusing for now, causing a bit of confusion to Goten and Trunks. He goes to offer his explanation. The goal of the first part of this training is to reach the maximum level for Gotenks, for both of them individually as well. This is the best way to achieve their fullest potential. There will be 3 steps. The first consisting of them becoming one with their inner selves. To put it more simply, they will have to be able to unleash all their power in one blow, be it with physical contact or not. They will have to face their weaknesses, their emotions, and their inner demons. He presents the first exercise. A plastic ball resides in the center of this device. A light will appear either red or green on the top of it. When a single side of the device is hit, the red light will appear. By hitting both sides simultaneously, the green light will also appear. Therefore, their goal is to activate both lights, and for the hits to be hard enough and of the same intensity, so the ball in the center explodes from the pressure. To succeed, rigor, focus, and explosiveness will all be needed. Though, according to Whis himself, the hardest part will be the perfect synchronization required for the ball to explode. Presenting the machine to him, he announces it's their turn. On Sadala, Vegeta shouts for everyone's attention. The training begins now! Addressing a specific group of Saiyans, he informs they are the 5th squad. Remember that number well. They already know the 3 admirals standing beside him. Admiral Ruba, known for being the most powerful man on the planet. Admiral Lariak, an experienced strategist and bold warrior, the man who has won battles without ever mobilizing a single soldier. Third, Admiral Fennel, the best of the best in tactical fighting and private investigation. She has successfully dismantled 182 smuggling rings. Vegeta warns if they are wise, nobody should ever try to hide anything from her. The prince instructs the rest of his soldiers to make 4 mixed groups. Each group will go in front of one of the admirals or himself. Upon asking if he makes himself clear, hundreds of voices chant back, "Yes, sir!" Amping him up, Vegeta bellows he didn't hear him. Has he been clear? Smirking, he thinks he's really going to enjoy this job. However, his wife and Jocko have to scoff at him. Bulma comments how big-headed this is going to get him. The spaceman couldn't agree more. That's when in the crowd, Caulifla wails on a random soldier while scolding to know what he's looking at. Spotting this, Vegeta clenches his jaw at the sight that she's already acting up. He has no idea how to deal with her. He's going to have to be smart. He calls out to her, instructing she make her way to Ruba's group. But what? She thought they would get to choose their own groups. Going Super Saiyan and grabbing her by the hair, he screams at her not to argue with him. This causes Ruba to butt in. He tells Vegeta it would be better if he refrained from using that form. Turning back to him, he scowls if he heard him right. Who allowed him to address him by name? Dozens of murmurs break out in the crowd. Are they going to fight? How dare he talk to their admiral like that? If they do fight, one will be supporting Ruba, and so on. Fennel calls out for all the Saiyans to be quiet. What are those whisperings for? Lariak objects. Does she realize the lack of respect Vegeta's showing? But that's not the point. Reacting like that isn't appropriate for a proper Saiyan soldier. Such behavior is unworthy of them as leaders. Although, if this Vegeta has an issue with them. Ruba puffs out his chest and tells Vegeta that now he has two issues if he has a problem being addressed by name. Aside from the king, everyone is skeptical about his ability to lead them. But what is this? Now they're having doubts about his legitimacy? Looking into the crowd, the entire Saiyan army appears to be staring him down. As it seems a giant fight is about to break out, Cabba tries to be the mediator of peace. He calls for everyone to calm down. They will find a compromise. Kale backing him up on this. But Vegeta screeches for silence. It seems they have all forgotten who they're talking to. He is Vegeta! Powering up to Super Saiyan Blue, he tells every single one of them to come at him. With the training of the Saiyans more or less beginning, what will happen to Son Goku, or Universe Zero, the Angels, and Gods of Destruction? Among other issues, will Gohan live up to the Pride Troopers' expectations? And perhaps most surprising of all,
Look! I'm flying!